Hello, hello, and live we are. Okay, had a little bit of difficulty tonight. It seems like, everybody's home. This internet business is just not, willing to just work um, as well as it used to because now everybody's home, everybody's busy. So here we are. So, this is your Reverend Dr. Marie Breville. If you are new to this channel, I am. Check this out, my times. You probably can't see it, but let's stop it. If you're new to this channel, so usually in this channel we talk about life skill, health and wellness, just wonderful topics, motivational to just keep you going with your life, to support you during this journey. Hoping that we can help making it easier than the way that it is right now. So it's been a while since I've done, live stream. I usually just, upload the video. But today I decided that, although the difficulties this thing has been given me, I said, you know what? I am going to go live today. And as you can see, not much wanting to cooperate, but I have decided. I made a decision. Therefore, it has to happen. That's it. So, as you can see, what I have written above was that. Make sure I can find a little bit of space here. I'm dropping. Come on, pen. Beautiful pen not cooperating. Oh, I see why. Gotcha. All right, here we are. So I wanted to touch a little bit on loneliness and alone, being alone, however you want to say it. If you see the mist, it's just my humidifier. Nobody's smoking by me. You're going crazy. No um, number of spirits are unleashing behind me. All right. So, oftentimes people talk about, my God, I'm looking for someone. I'm so lonely. I don't know what to do. Um, but in real life, if we think about it, it is just as impossible as it is to even be alone, let alone be in loneliness. What do I mean? I'm glad you asked. Well, when you're talking about being alone, how can you be alone when you have a higher maker? When you were brought up here, through your mom, by the support of your dad, you probably have siblings, all of that good stuff. But someone, I don't know your beliefs. I don't know if we gotta mention Jesus Christ. I don't know if we gotta say God, because nowadays, I mean, the number of things that people have created just to make themselves feel better or supported, whatever it is. I don't know if I should say Muhammad, if I should say the Tao, if I should say the Tao, if I should say if I should say Buddha, if I should say the universe, all of that comes, or I should say, just about equal what we have concluded at the end of the day, God. Um, so, as I was saying, it's kind of hard to agree that you're alone because as you know it, as you may believe so, that God is always with you, no matter where you are, no matter where you go, no matter what you do, that you may be here with us, that you may be in jail, that you may be in a hospital bed, laying down, waiting for your treatment. God is always with us. So, why do people tend to say that I'm alone, that I need someone, that I, you know? Something that I always share with my clients when we talk about love, when we get to that, um, how can I say? I don't know if it's a upgrade or a downgrade. It's always important, always much more important for someone to get along being with themselves before looking for someone. What we have today is that a lot of people are constantly looking for someone, but they're not willing to be with themselves. Just think about it. If you're not willing to be with yourself, I mean, what are the chances that someone will want to be with you? I mean, it's all fairness, it's all fair. That's the rule of the game. If you don't want to be with yourself, you see, the computer still, not the computer, but something with the signal, you can see that it fluctuates my color. See, I'm a different color, I'm a different color, I'm a different color. It's not really the light because the light is not moving, but anyhow, no big deal. Um, as long as I still have my melanin, it's all good. But yeah, so God is always with you no matter where you go, what you do. So it is time for us to recognize, to understand that we always have a higher power that's always with us, always within us, always around us. That it is time for us to stop talking about that we're lonely, that we're alone, that so on and so forth. I mean, of course, loneliness is another level of the thing. I don't know if we want to call it the devil. Loneliness is another level of it. But when you're talking about being alone, it's like once you start saying, "Oh, I'm alone, I'm alone, I'm alone," the next step is gonna be that I'm lonely. It's like now there's nothing at all. But to my understanding, when someone keep talking about being alone, um it's usually about yourself. It's not really about what you're lacking, what's needed in your life. It's just like when you're talking about you want to be rich, you want to be rich. If you cannot enjoy your humble life now, how can you enjoy it when you're rich? So when you're rich, you're gonna desire to be more rich. And then when you get more rich, you're gonna desire to be more rich. And when you get more rich, you're just gonna keep desiring more and more and different things, and you'll never get to enjoy what you have. So first you gotta learn to enjoy what you have. Once you start enjoying what you have, and then you can take it to a different level. You can start talking about love in your life, because you know what, you've checked one level. You did this, so now you can look for that. You did that, now you can look for this. You did this, now you can look. It's just like you just keep on going in a circle, but you don't want to keep skipping processes. You don't want to keep, when you're going through a process, you want to learn in the process. It might not be a process that is pleasant, like right now, I'm in pain. It's not pleasant, but it's a process. It's a process that I have to learn to go through. Let me make sure my mic is up. All right. So it's a process that, I have to learn to go through. It's a process every day, something new that I'm learning about it. And then eventually things will get even. Eventually there comes a time I'm just gonna talk to you straight without ever having to touch here or touch there, or kind of like flap my eyes because something just like hurt me, and I'm trying not to keep, you know, keeping my head up, because then I don't want to have to feel like I want to explain, because it's like if you're looking at somebody who's just like talking, and if you're new to the channel, you're gonna be thinking like, what is the matter with her? Okay, I'm hearing her, but what's up with the, you know? So it's just a little bit of pain that keeps visiting me, and it's just one thing. So it's like I said, it's like it's not pleasant, but it's a process. So what I do is I go through the process, and every time, every day, every week, every month, I'm learning something new, and I'm getting through a different process, and I'm going through, I'm getting to the next and getting to the next until, when the time is up, and the time is up. So, um, so it is impossible for you to say that, you're alone. God is always with you. God was with you. And I don't want to get into, like I said, don't come for me because I say he, she, whatever you want to say, whatever that pleases you. This is just a conversation, because nowadays people get caught up too much in their feelings that they miss out on the points. They miss out on information because they're so busy trying to be right. So I'm not trying to be right. I'm just trying to share something with you, because these are conversations that I get calls about. These are conversations that, I have, we have, you have on a daily basis over and over. Um, let's see, trying to get others to understand that, it's a process. If you're alone right now, meaning that, you're not alone, you just don't have someone in your life. As we say it, alone, if you don't have someone in your life, it's not the end of the world. It's a process. You go through the process, you learn to love yourself, you learn to be with yourself, and then eventually you keep on getting more and more, you keep getting higher and higher, and then one day you just get what you're looking for, because you know what, you persevere, you keep on looking, and one day you just get it. I don't know what you're going to call it. If you're going to call it what you've been looking for, if you want to call it the miracle, I don't know what you're going to call it, but it's, once you go through the process, there's always something better waiting for you at the end of the tunnel. So and as I said, God was there in the beginning and before you were, and will be there when you take your last breath. So there's no point in believing, in trusting that you're alone, because you're not. You're not alone. You're never going to be alone. No matter what you do, even if, per se, you misbehave, you did something you weren't supposed to do, you're still not going to be alone. You're just not going to be abandoned. You're always going to have the support. Will you use it? That's up to you. Will you understand it? Will you um acknowledge it? Will you be grateful for it? Will you know how to use it? Will you use it? Will you take advantage of it? Will you be, grateful that it's there? That's all up to you. I don't know what you do, but that's all I have to share, you know. Um, and to think about it, the only way for you to really be alone, you would have to forget who made you. You would have to forget that you're a human being, You'd have to forget that you're that spirit being. You're a person living here. You're doing everything you do. You're walking, you're talking, you're singing, you singing, you dancing, you moving around, you doing everything that you do. Um, that's not you that did all of that. You still have a maker. You still have a higher power. Even if we say, when we talk, we say, I am God, I'm God in action, because it's as if there would be, it would be as if there's no God if nothing is being done, if we never took care of the planet, if we don't take care of one another. Although it looks that being here, God is being present, because we are here, we're moving. So that's why it said, I know there's a verse that said, if you don't worship me, if you don't give praise to me, the flowers and the plants will do so. So as you can see, the meaning of this is that the flowers and the plants are still moving because they're still blooming, they're still flourishing. Because as you know, anything that doesn't move is dead. So if you're not moving, you're not in action, you're dead. That's when you become just like a carcass, you become just like a skin, you become just like a peel, you become just like this. You're just dead. If I throw it on the bed, it's gonna stay on the bed. If I hang it up, it's gonna stay up there. If I throw it on the floor, it's gonna stay there. However, if I take a plant, I put it on the bed, it'll grow on the bed. If I put it on the floor, it'll grow on the floor. It might not hang, but if I hang it up in the ceiling, it will grow there. As long as it gets its water and whatever necessary. So you got to make sure you keep moving because this is how God lives through you. So you can't be alone. God is always with you. Everything that you do, every way that you go about, everything that you do, everything that you are, everything that you are becoming is all about your God. Okay, not my God, your God. All right. I'm not judging, so no need for you to judge. Um, so as we were mentioning, as I was talking about, the last point is that for you to be alone, you'd have to forget about your maker. You'd have to forget about the universe. You'd have to forget about everything and everyone, and just I don't know, lay down and die, or start talking nonsense, or become the devil in person on earth. So as long as you're here, you're doing what you're supposed to do. You're moving, you're talking, you're being active. Yeah, you got in action. Um, the other point is, watch your thoughts. When you're talking about being alone, sometimes a lot of thoughts come to your mind. So watch your thoughts because God is in your thoughts. God is part of your thoughts. God stays in your thoughts. So if you start thinking the wrong things, just imagine for a second that your mom or your dad is in your thought. Would you change your mind? Would you change your thoughts? I'm sure there's a lot of things you would not allow your head to come to your head, to come to your mind. So change your thoughts. If your thoughts are not doing you well, your thoughts are like the water that grows you. If you're not thinking the right things, you're not gonna grow. I've seen people that, I don't know, when that graduated before me in high school. And as I grew up, as I graduated later on too in high school, and then later on went to college and graduated from college and got a job, and then went further up in school, get masters, get other, bachelors and masters and this and certificates and uh, other achievements, and then doctoral program and this and that. These people were still there at the same spot where I last saw them. They're still struggling, um, not because they can't, but because they're not taking the actions they're supposed to take. Something I always tell people, when you go, for example, when you go to a community college, you can spend 10 years at a community college. If you don't take actions, if you don't tell your guidance counselor, listen, this is what I want to accomplish, this is how I want to accomplish it, this is where I want to go, this is my plan, I want to be out of here in a year, I want to be out of here in 2 years. If you don't make a plan, you are going to be lonely because you're going to be the only 50-year-old there, while all these little youngins are coming through and wondering, like, what are you doing here? Do you work here? Only to find out you've been here for 30 years. So you got to take actions. You got to always take actions. You know, um, Too bad I'm not like near the kitchen to show you something like the other day. Let me see if I have them here. Okay, I can even use that. Like the other day, I went to the doctor and they have these two things. This is a cream and this is to ingest. And I wasn't sure which one did I want, the CBD. I wasn't sure which one did I want. If I wanted the cream to just put, I think I just, okay. I didn't make too much of a mess. We're still here. I couldn't make up my mind. Did I want to use the cream, or do I want to get the oil? So I just couldn't make up my mind. I couldn't make up my mind. I'm like, because when I walked in and I saw it and she mentioned it to me, she's like, oh yeah, these just came in. And so I'm thinking in my head, oh wow, this is cool. I like natural stuff. So I'm like, I definitely would want to get it. But then as I'm exiting, I still didn't make up my mind. Do I want to get the cream or do I want to get the oil? So guess what? I got both. Because you know what? I had to go. I couldn't sit there all day trying to figure out, do I want the cream or do I want the oil? Do I want the cream? You have only so many hours in a day. So you can't spend it over things that you could, like just a simple thing like this. Travel, make the decision. Well, if I can't, if you can't afford it, then make your decision quicker. If you can't, or leave it alone. You'll make a decision next time. Or maybe go research if you're not sure. But don't spend too much time on trivial things that you could just get rid of. Sometimes this is how we get sick. We allow ourselves to have diseases because we don't make our decision. We don't make up our mind. Because I bet you once you make up your mind, you see how your life changes. So it's not a matter of complaining about how you're alone, how no one is there for you, how you're lonely, and this loneliness is killing you. But it's a matter of you making up your mind, waking up and saying, hey, you know what? This is what I'm going to do. Went to the store. I like those two. As you can see, we look alike. And guess what? I got them both. I had what did I have there? Ow, ow. I had this beautiful calendar this young lady made. I'm just being honest. This is a beautiful calendar made by an artist that someone had gotten for me, and that's what was there. And I love them, and I'm like, you know what? I can't sit at the store and waiting there and asking everybody else which one you think I should take. And then I'm going to come home and I'm going to be like, oh, why did she tell me to take this one? It doesn't match here. It doesn't match there. Now I have to do this. I have to do that. And no, I take responsibility of myself. I take responsibility. If I come, it doesn't work out, that's my problem. And as a matter of fact, I'm going to switch them tomorrow. Well, it might not matter because I am going to change my things, but my curtains. But right now, yeah, it would look cute with it. But the next curtain is about that color, so I guess it's fine. I'm not going to switch it. But yeah, you needed to know that. So yeah, it's like you got to make up your mind because a lot of times we fall into so many different situations. It's not because we're not smart. It's not because you're not smart. It's not because you're not elegant. You're not fancy. You're not classy. But it's because we take so long to make decisions. We take so long to decide what's going to work in our lives. We let other people make those decisions for us. So by the time they make those decisions, we're not happy. We come back complaining of, look what she made me do. She made me buy this thing. It doesn't make sense with my life. It's not working. What was she thinking? She's always making those bad decisions for me. She doesn't like me. He doesn't like me. He made me buy this one. But guess what? If you had made up your mind and say, you know what, this is what I'm going to do, this is what I'm going to buy, then you get home, you're like, oh, I should have taken the other one, Well, I should have gotten both because there's always going to be an empty spot or there's always going to be somebody looking for it. So, yes, for that point. Um, so as it is, watch your thoughts, watch the things that get in your thoughts because you just never know, God is in your thoughts. So try to have better thoughts when your thoughts are not working out. Take a step back and think about it and think and find better thoughts, find better things that you can think about yourself. Like, for example, something that could be in your thought could be like, oh my God, my hair is not long enough. Oh my God, this is like, oh, you know what? Maybe I should have tied it differently. Why did, tribal, not important, not that big of a deal. If you feel like your hair is not long enough, put extension. Like, don't sit there and lament on stuff that you can fix, you know. For example, I saw a sister, was it today or the other day? She was saying that, she's always had this issue. She never had bras. And she never cut it. It just something that was always with her. And then she found out that you can do the tattoo. And so she looked into it, researched about it. She was uncomfortable at first, but afterwards she made up her mind and she said, you know what, it's gonna make me happy. I think it's gonna make, improve her appearance. It's gonna improve her self-esteem. And then she went and she did it, So don't waste your time lamenting on things that you can change. If the car is giving you problems, find a way to change it. If it's credits that you don't have, find a way to clean your credit so next year you can get a car. Sometimes it takes time. Sometimes what it is, the reason people find themselves in that state of loneliness is just that you want to skip the process. You don't want to have to be the one doing this, doing that, taking your time. You just want to skip over everybody else, as if you're the only one that's special. No one else is special. You're the only one that's the child of God. Nobody else is a child of God. And you just want to like skip the line, forget everybody else. Don't care if you step on someone and you broke their neck, you broke their shoulders. Doesn't matter. Because you know what? You're the one that's special. It doesn't work that way. So you got to figure out how to address the things that are just not working for you, that are just not working the way that you thought they were going to work out. If something is not working one way, there's always another way to make it work. And earlier I was talking to someone about love. They had some questions, and one thing I was sharing is that it's hard to know love or to find love or to get love. And I'm talking about real love. Don't start telling me, oh, I don't know God and I have my love. No, I'm talking about real love. Someone who's going to stick with you no matter what happens, someone who's going to take care of you if you end up being, wheelchair bound or bed bound, if you can't do anything for yourself, if that person had to feed you and bathe you while keeping 2 jobs, taking care of the kids, cleaning the house, that person would be there. If you had no family, no friends to help you in that new city, this person is going to be with you. They're not going to cheat on you when you can't provide, when you can't service them, when you can't do anything. And I mean, like, when you can't kiss, you can't have sex, you can't do anything because of medical issues or whatever have you, you know this person is going to be there for you. So if you gonna be looking for that real love, you're gonna need the presence of your God. You know, you're gonna need. That's why it's so important. Like, a lot of times when people are inquiring about love, I always tell, you gotta meditate. You gotta pray. You gotta, you gotta take a step back, because it's time for you to humble yourself. Because a lot of times we want things, we want it with all of our ego. Like, sometimes we want things, it's not only a matter of we want or we need it, but we want what we want with all of our ego. It's all we want the big car. It's not because it looks good, or it makes you feel safe, but it's because, you know what, if you go with that car, you'll be the only one with that car. If you do this, if you buy this house, you'll be the only one with the big house in the town, or on that street. If you send your kid to that school, you're sending your kid to that school because you'll be the only one um from your church that can afford to send your kid to that school. It's like we are being motivated by the ego instead of being motivated by love. So a lot of times you find people looking for love, but they don't even want to love. They don't even love themselves. They don't even have love to give. But you know what? You're pretty. You handsome. You would look good next to me. So come on over. You know? So this is the mindset that some people have. And that's why it takes them so long. And you will have some people. Someone once said, um, water break. Oh yeah. And if you wonder what I'm drinking, I just kind of alkaline, I guess. Um, you can see what it is, right? Cinnamon and lime, lemon. I don't know, one or the other. Um, yeah. So, I better not lose my train of thought. So someone was telling me, yes, we were talking about love. Someone was talking about um how it doesn't matter if they have to do it 1,000 times. They rather do it 1,000 times instead of being alone. In their head, they were being alone if they don't have somebody next to them. Even if they don't love the person, they rather take the person. They rather have the person in their lives because they cannot handle being by themselves. And that's a very sad way to perceive love, because people like that damage a lot of other people, good people that have good love to provide. They cause these people to become afraid of love, or to become just as petty as they are, just as mean, just as vague, forgetting about other people's feelings, causing people to get hurt in time and places that they don't need to. They could have done better, but because of this experience, they just don't really care. I dealt with a client that was like, all the time, felt the need to always have a backup, because you just never know if this person is going to leave you. But why getting in it at all if you're going in it with the idea that someone might leave you? What's the point? What's the point of bringing someone into your life, not knowing if they're going to leave you, not unable to trust that this person can actually love you, unable to believe that this person is actually yours, is actually for you, and that you can trust that this person can be and stay with you. It just, to me, it just doesn't make any sense. I mean, it can make sense because obviously this is someone who's hurt, who's afraid, who has a number of issues, definitely does not have self-esteem and does not love themselves. But don't get into love while you're afraid. Don't get into love if you don't want to trust. Don't get into love knowing that you're going to hurt the person. Don't get into love definitely to hurt someone. If you don't want the person, let them go. If you don't need the person, let them go. Don't, I don't want to say force, because sometimes it's not like you're forcing the person to be in your life. The person might just genuinely love you. They might genuinely um, think that you're nice or think that you're a good match, and then deep inside you're not. But that only happens because that person too did not, sometimes did not do their work, or did not do the work, did not have discernment, take time to sit back and realize that, is this person for me or not? And most of the times, I think, like, when someone is not for you, you know it. I've been there. And sometimes you just let it slip through the crack. It's not even sometimes it could be by desperation. Sometimes people are desperate, they want to have kids and this and that. Sometimes it's not even that. Sometimes it could be just for the companion that this person can bring, or something about them. They could be funny, or sometimes they cut you off guard. Yes, off guard. Someone, let's say you were a friend with, and and you were hanging out, or you could be doing something, you could be going to the movies, you always hang out, you always talk, and then all of a sudden, you could go out to eat, everything was fine, and then you're on your way home and this person was just like, oh, I know we've been friends for like 10 years, 20 years. I just didn't realize it, how much I actually appreciate you and love you, and I want you in my life. And you're just like, uh, uh, and you're just like, no, this is not happening. No, no, we friends. And they're like, no, let's give it a try. And you didn't speak out for yourself. Next thing you know, yeah, you're like stuck with that person, at least for a little while, not too long, because of course it's not going to work, because it's not something that you know you set back, you discern yourself, you waited for it to happen. It's just something you jump into. Or sometimes it happens in such a way, like friends could push you into it. They all could like think that, oh, look at John, oh, look at Josephine, you guys should really get together. You guys are nice the same way. You both are nerds. You both like to read. You both like are introverts. Yeah, you guys should get together. Next thing you know, Josephine and John together. It's not because they wanted to be together, but because they weren't speaking for themselves. They weren't making a decision. So now they stuck with each other. I say stuck with each other because they don't really want to be with each other. Sometimes you find people like that. And sometimes it may work. It's not like it doesn't work or it's not going to work. But I'm just saying, this is just another approach if you may, that we can have when it comes to love. It's just like you make sure to find what you're looking for. And of course, sometimes some people may decide that, they want to, compromise a little. They want to have this. They want, they have three out of the five things they were looking for, then they take it. But there may be some people, listen, I have five on my list, and that's what I'm looking for, and I'm willing to wait for it. But don't say you're willing to wait for it, and then suddenly, when you're realizing it's not coming as quick as you wanted, you jump into another pool. You jump into something else because you're like, okay, I don't know, maybe it's not going to happen. So that's why you have to have discernment. You have to learn how to pray. And I mean, you don't have to pray like other people. You could pray like yourself. Pray like we having this conversation right now. Listen, God, Buddha, Muhammad, I don't know who you pray to the tree, to a light, to a star, to the moon, to the sun. I don't know who you pray to. Ra, you know, uh, who else? Sheba, I don't know who you pray to, but I'm just saying, you have to learn to sit back and have conversation with your maker. Have conversation. The person you believe looks after you when you get out. I don't know, your grandma, that's past 10 years ago. You can still have conversation. I don't know what you do. I'm not putting my beliefs on you. I'm not pushing you to go to any type of other beliefs. But I'm just saying, you got to learn to sit back, because what it is we don't want to sit back and learn and relearn ourselves. Instead of learning ourselves, we run to someone else and hope that person will learn ourselves for us. So then later on, they could be like, oh no, she doesn't like this. She doesn't like this because the person want this one. So they say, well, she doesn't like this. This is too pretty. She's not that type of a girl. She likes that. This is plain. It's a big, it's cheap. That's her. Only because they want this. People trick you like that, you know? People trick you like that all the time. They try to tell you who you are because you're too scared to tell them who you are. You're too scared to say, listen, I'm not gonna do that anymore. I'm not gonna go eat out of a box. I'm not gonna go in a line to go eat. I want to sit down and have a great meal. You're too scared to say that, so people just assume. They assume that, you know what, we could just give her that. We could just give her this. We could just, mm-mm, doesn't work for me. No, you got to learn to tell people no. It's not working out. Learn to tell them no. You got to know yourself. You got to learn yourself. And this is why people are so afraid to be in a place by themselves, because now when you're by yourself, you get to listen to your thoughts. And this is why a lot of times people can't meditate, because they're afraid of their thoughts. Because once you meditate, you hear this right now? So now imagine that. If I give you like 5 seconds, just close your eyes and I will not speak. Can you handle it? You see how quick, like depending where you are, if you're at home alone and there's not a penny drop, and if one dropped, it's going to echo all around the house or the apartment or wherever you are. So just imagine, people are just so afraid of listening to what's going on in the head. If you don't like what you're listening to, what you're hearing, Change it. It's simple. It might seem complicated because you see it as complicated. But if you see it as simple, it is simple. That's just the way it is. So if you're seeking love, you're wanting money, you're wanting jobs, you want new friends, first it starts with you. Are you a friend to yourself? Can you actually pick up that mirror every morning and noticing the wonderful, the beautiful things about yourself, how beautiful your lips are, how much you love your face, every part of it? You know, like, are you able? All right, my battery is running low. Great. So, if you're not able to be with yourself, to do the things that for yourself that you want others to do, it just not I'm misbehaving. It just doesn't work like that. Oh, all right, it's gonna reach. It's not gonna work like that. You have to be willing to do the things that you want others to do for you. I don't know if this is going to kick in. Come on, work for me. So let me speak quickly because this is only like 6 seconds. 6%. And if this doesn't, I just can't reach that far. Yep, it's stopping. I don't think it's plugged in all the way. Be patient with me. I can't reach. So yeah, maybe I'll just have to make another video to continue with this. It's just that, don't keep saying that you're lonely. Don't keep saying things like you're alone just because you're by yourself. It seems like you're by yourself. You're never by yourself. God is always with you. Your maker, whoever that is, whatever you call him or her, is always with you. So just keep that in mind. And once you understand that, once you agree with that, you see how soon, how quickly things change for you, how quickly things will change in your life. Just remember that your maker is always here for you. And when you're searching for love all alone, you're not allowing your maker to help you to make that choice. It never really ends well. Let me see if I can get it. Be patient. Let's hope that works. And if it doesn't, it's okay. And forgive me because I'm not even sure how did I look like when I turned. So yeah, if you're searching for love, be sure to talk to your maker to make sure that you're heading the right way. You're doing what you're supposed to. Different names every time, because then it makes me like lose my train of thought. Once you bring your maker in the situation, it just makes everything go smoothly. It just makes everything go so much better. And spend some time talking to yourself. If you're not sure, go outside and pretend to be on the phone, put headset on. But of course, don't put it tight enough for you not to hear anything.